welcome. And I'll be talking about summer camp at home. This is something that I do every year with my boys, and I've been getting questions. People have been asking questions about what I do with the summer camp at home experience and how do I get started. And so first things first, I'm gonna start with a little bit of an introduction. For those of you that don't know me, I am Ruth Angelina, and I have 3 boys. Yes, Logan, and I have Blake and Dylan, who is 2 years old. So I've been doing summer camp at home with the boys since Logan was a baby, actually, and not as structured as I do it now, but I've always had something in the summer that we do based on a theme and based on learning. So that's when I got started. Now, I'm not a teacher. I get asked the question a lot, you know, if I'm a teacher. I'm not a teacher. I don't have a teaching degree and nothing like that, but I do have experience with children. Back in the day, in another lifetime, I was a camp counselor at a day camp and a camp director a couple of years after that. So I do have experience doing some kind of camp experience with children. And I do also have experience creating curriculum. I do get questions a lot. Where do I get my curriculum? How did I come up with it? I come up with it by myself. I don't try not to purchase anything. I try to make sure that everything that I do is free or available to me because I'm on a budget. So that's something that I just search from Pinterest, homeschooling blogs. I talk to friends, I research at the library, and that's why I pick a theme, because then I can kind of make sure that everything goes together. And I do have experience with some curriculum writing and structure, because I used to be an education specialist a couple years ago. So that's how I put together my curriculum for the boys. Now, every year I have a different theme for the kids. And last year we did art because Blake was super obsessed with painting and art. So that gave me that idea. And then this year, Logan was asking a lot about space and the stars. So that kind of put the ball rolling and gave the idea of doing space. Now, I do a kind of Montessori and Reggio, I think that's how you pronounce it. I keep trying to figure out how to pronounce it, but I think it's Reggio style of learning. And if you want to know more about that, just, you know, Google it. But Montessori and Reggio is very child-driven learning concepts. So when the boys are interested in something, that's kind of my cue on let's, you know, try to figure this out. Let's learn about this, because if they're interested, they want to learn, and that's, you know, what I want to teach them. So really it's a lot of, you know, my boys driving the curriculum. Now, how long does it take me to put together summer camp at home? It's about 2 weeks, I would say, of preparation before we start. And it starts basically by the idea of the boys and then me kind of just honing in on different things that I want to do. So each week is a different theme that has to do with space. So the first week was an intro, and we did the solar system, kind of introducing what the solar system is and the planets. And this week we're just honing in on the sun. So a lot of our activities have to do with the sun. And it's about 8 weeks, because that's how long our summer break is. And I just break it up like that. I'm totally flexible. Some days we're really on it and we're doing a good job and we're following through everything. Other days we might get through one thing, and that's perfectly fine. Someone asked me, can I send my kids to your camp? Well, I think I have my hands full with my 3, but if you want to come along, I will certainly, you know, love to get like a little group of moms with campers. That would be amazing to me. But it's really simple to do. You know, I got also another question, a mom that works and would like to do some of the ideas with her kids, but she's not home, like her kids are at day camp. So you can definitely do it. If you have a caregiver, you can get your caregiver, you know, on board with it, and maybe she can do play dates and trips and things like that that can go with the theme that you're doing. My neighbor last year heard about my summer camp experience, and she started it like the day after she heard about it, and she did a more of a nature thing because her kids love nature and things like that. And she told me that it went phenomenal, and she worked part-time during the summer, so she was able to do it during the times that, you know, she was with her kids, and they went exploring and hiking and things like that. So you can definitely do it if you're not a stay-at-home mom. Okay, so how do I do it all? Well, I'm a very organized, systematically organized person, so everything that I do has to have a time to it, has to be very organized, very laid out, so I can keep myself organized. It's not because, you know, I'm great at it, it's because I need it. It's how I thrive. If I don't have a schedule, if I don't have things that are telling me what's next and what to do, I'll just won't do anything. So I have to be very, very, very vigilant about keeping a schedule. Now, I also try to make sure that the schedule is flexible, because it will make me a little crazy if I'm not on schedule, but I've been learning that with kids, you have to be flexible. So I try not to go too crazy with them. But also I have tips to surviving, you know, summer camp for moms and just having your kids 24/7. You can look on my blog, simplymadefancy.com, and the tips are there. And it's 5 tips, and I'll share them quickly with you, but there's more to it. It's implementing my 5 camp concepts, and that you can also find on the blog. And the 5 camp concepts are have a kickoff event, create a theme, create a schedule, set rules and responsibilities, and have an end of the year, you know, party and celebration when you do that. Now, those are the 5 concepts, and that's my number 1 on how to survive. So it's really about keeping yourself organized and making sure that you have a goal for the summer. Now, the second is meal planning. It just starts with either meal prepping or just knowing what to do when I'm gonna do it for that day. So I have a couple of tips on the blog you can see of what I do, because I have a theme for every day, so I'm not guessing. I know what I'm actually gonna cook that day. And number 3 is get a head start the night before. So also have a rest time for you and for the kids. You know, even if your kids don't nap, like my 2 oldest don't nap and the baby does nap. So I just give them a time to just read. They have to sit in the bed or on the couch, no lights, no TV. I put essential oils if I have, you know, if I remember. I give them a book. So that's number 4. And number 5 is self-care. For me, self-care is the hardest thing to do, because I'm just go, 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 and I want to get all this stuff done for the boys, but I do have to take time for myself. So I try to wake up early. I try to go to sleep early so I can wake up early and have at least some time for myself to either work out or, you know, have like my devotional time and have my time with God and my time to meditate on God's word and pray. Also try to like schedule some time with my husband to have a date night once in a while, so that's good. So those are my 5 tips of survival for the summer. Okay, so how do I manage the different ages? Because my boys are the different ages. So again, because I use a kind of a Montessori Reggio style of teaching and learning for them, it works because all of them are kind of like doing what they can with their age group. So Dylan, a lot of the times with Dylan, because he's 2, I'll just give him a piece of paper and he just has to draw what I'm talking about, and that's what he's been doing. So for example, we've been doing the sun, and all week he just keeps saying sun is hot, and every time we sit down to do our lesson, he thinks it's homework time, so he calls it homework time. So he says homework time, and he'll sit down with his little piece of paper and just draw circles. So that's basically what he's been doing. So at least he's been getting the concept that the sun is hot. And he knows a couple of words because we have been learning some vocab words with the curriculum. So he's been doing that. For Logan, it's a little bit more intense because he is my 7-year-old, or going to be 7-year-old. Him, I've been getting books in the library that are a little bit older and that he can read, because he is reading, and he'll read books on his own at his own pace. And for Blake is more hands-on for me because he's more of a tactile child, so we have to actually touch round objects. I have to like I was explaining how the sun is in the center and the earth is going around, so I actually had to get, you know, a ball and another ball and show him that, and then how the moon, you know, goes around as well, all at the same time. It's really a flexible, you know, way of learning, of teaching the boys, when I'm just going based on what, you know, they are giving off to me, like what they want to learn. And just, you know, Logan gets a little bit more extra, Blake gets more of the tactile stuff because he likes to touch things and look at things and explore things. And Dylan just is getting everything kind of like by osmosis, just being in the room and seeing us doing all the things. Sometimes he does get a little bit out of hand because, you know, he's bored, he just wants to run around, and sometimes he goes, I want to run, and then I let him just run. I've been getting a lot of questions. Actually, this is the bulk of the questions that I get. It's my schedule. So I'm gonna move and show you my schedule and kind of break it down for everybody and what it looks like. Okay, so this is the schedule. I post it behind the door of the playroom, which is our headquarters. That's one thing that I feel like it's a good idea if you're gonna do a summer camp experience. Even though you're gonna be out and about, it's good to have a designated split space where you're gonna have all the things that you need. So in this room, it's our playroom and it's our learning room. So we have all the things that we'll need for the summer. So I have the schedule up here every hour because I want them to visually see. So I put pictures, and I created this on my computer. It's nothing special. I just found the pictures and then wrote what I needed to write. And then I laminated them. My laminator is my best friend. I got it a Cyber Monday deal on Amazon and I love it. So it's my best friend. So it's just on an hourly, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then in between 12 and 3 I skip because this is where we're doing all of our activities from 11 to 3 o'clock. So I don't really put specifics on there. So that's because we're out and about doing our fun activities. And then 4, and this is the only one that's very specific because it's the time right before my husband gets home from work. And so we sit down. As soon as he walks in the door, he washes his hands, gets kind of comfortable, and we eat because I need to eat. And we all by that time are just like exhausted, so we try to get a early dinner time. So that's the only one that has a specific thing, but the boys don't really, the boys just look at 5 and they know that it's around dinner time. And then 6 o'clock and 7. So this is the things that we're doing. So rise and shine, the boys get up. Sometimes they kind of linger, try to get ready for the day. If they're going to the pool, they put on their, you know, bathing suits right away. We have been trying to do some exercises, and the boys are loving this thing we found on YouTube. It's called Cosmic Yoga, and it's yoga with like a space theme. So it works out for us. So the boys have been doing that. And then we have breakfast, and during breakfast time, we do our devotional time. And I do the devotional time. Last year I was doing it at the end of the day, and this year we've started doing it during the school, before school. So I just kept doing that during breakfast time. And it's good because sometimes Maurice is able to join us right before he goes to work. And so then right after that, we do learning. And sometimes I flip, this is where it gets flexible. Sometimes I'll flip our 9 a.m. activity with our 10, because sometimes, you know, the boys are just not ready or not focused at 9 to do their learning. So I'll just give them free time instead, and then we'll do our learning right after that. And then sometimes I need a little bit of, you know, more time to get ready. So when they have free time, I can get ready for a lot of things. And during their free time, I'm usually either getting ready for the activity that we're gonna do, or getting myself ready for whatever I need to do. So that's, you know, how I build in my schedule aside from their schedule. And then our fun activities, and I also have a schedule, you can look, for our fun activities, and each day is based on something that we're going to be doing. So Mondays is our chill day, is our park day. Then Tuesday we go to the pool, weather permitting. And then at night and later in the evening we go to the library. Wednesdays is usually like a fun field trip, like get out, do something different. Thursdays is my shopping day, so the boys have to come with me shopping. And then we'll do bowling or some kind of game or something like that. Today we did Legoland. So Fridays we do again the park and the movies. We have a good movie theater nearby that does like dollar movies during the summer for like summer camp, and for moms and kids. So we usually, and it's old movies, but to my kids they're new because they haven't seen them before. So we usually try to hit one of those movies, and I only pay like $1 for each of us. And then Saturdays and Sundays are family fun, which usually is the beach or something out with dad. And then Sundays is our family time and kind of like our Sabbath. We try to be chill. Sometimes we'll go to the pool as well, but that's our fun activity schedule. And then we'll have lunch, and lunch is always a packed lunch where I can take it with us if we need to take it with us, eat it here, take it to the park. We've been eating our lunches out every day. So it's usually sandwich, something cold, nothing that I need to be cooking or turn on the stove for. So that's our lunch. Our snacks are usually our downtime, and you know, just something simple. The boys pick out what they want. They have like a snack drawer and they take all that stuff. And quiet time is, you know, the time that they'll read, they'll sit down, and then they'll just chill. And dinner, yes. And family time is when Maurice comes home and he kind of, you know, joins in on all the fun. And I am so grateful for my husband because he does the bath time, the story time, and all that other stuff so that I can kind of decompress. And sometimes he even does the dishes with all that stuff. When we do our learning activities, we have them here. And again, each day is something different. So Mondays we do a lot of reading and writing and reading comprehension. Tuesdays we do the math. Wednesdays we do our like science experiments. Thursdays we do more of like a craft. Fridays it's cooking. And Saturdays and Sundays we try to do more Spanish because we're together as a family, so we can reinforce language for them. I'm gonna show you what I do for the learning. I got these books from Costco. I got first grade, so to reinforce all the concepts that Logan learned in first grade this year. And then for Blake, to reinforce the concepts that he learned in pre-K this year. So they do that, they'll pick a math page. It has like math, reading, writing, science, a bunch of stuff. So they'll do this. And Dylan does colors. Dylan has been learning about colors, so that's what we've been doing with him. Oh yeah, somebody did ask me about my rules. So every summer I come up with some kind of rules, responsibility chart, or something like that for the boys. Last year we were doing the fruits of the spirit and kind of like a superhero thing. This year, since we're doing space, I kind of just created my own like astronauts code of conduct. So let me show you what they are. So this is the astronauts code of conduct, and it's astronauts respect their leaders and each other. Leader, me and dad, and God, and each other definitely, because sometimes they get too crazy and they want to fight with each other. So I'm always like, okay, what do astronauts, you know, respect? Who do astronauts respect? And they go, each other. So then they stop fighting, or sometimes they stop fighting. Astronauts follow and listen to directions. Astronauts always try their best. This is something that I need to kind of ingrain, especially on my son Logan, who's the oldest. He's always saying, well, I can't do it anymore, or he gets frustrated if he can't get something perfect because he has to have everything perfect. He's, you know, my child that's a little bit more similar to me, so I feel his pain sometimes. If he just can't get it right, he just wants to give up and he just wants to have it just right. So I always tell them, we always try our best, and we're not gonna give up, we're just gonna try our best. Astronauts clean up after themselves. So, you know, we're not gonna leave our space cluttered. Like before, this room was a mess of Legos, and before they went to bed, they had to clean it up because it won't happen, and I don't want piles and piles of junk on top of, you know, all the stuff, because tomorrow will be another mess. Astronauts complete assigned tasks. So once we start something, they know they have to finish it at some point. They can take a break or whatever, but they do have to finish it. And it's reinforcing things also that they will take on to school, because they do have to finish the things that they start. So those are our rules for this year. We've done t-shirts before, but I feel like this is so much easier because I would need like so many t-shirts. So this is just, they put them on. Each of them have a task or what they are. Like Logan's the commander, Dylan's the engineer, I'm the mission specialist, and Blake is the pilot, and Dad is the flight director. We do this, you know, we put them on. It's like an official thing. Now we're ready to do our lesson for today and our learning. So they love it actually, because it's almost like playing dress up. So we're astronauts going on a mission. A couple years ago, we didn't have a big space like this. It was just like a little corner of my living room, and I was still able to I just had like a little poster and a little board, and it was perfectly fine. And and it just made it perfect for them to kind of have that concept. If you have more questions, send them in. I love to answer. I love to, share my ideas with everybody. That's why I do these videos. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. See you next time.